the IVC team, so obviously them being on the home field advantage, we got a little bit of information about them. So I'm excited to see how they fight against Blue. Blue being the more dominant of the CSUF teams, winning out against Orange. It's gonna be a hard-fought battle, especially because I believe we're in the losers.
We are in losers finals here.
Ooh, so whoever wins this is going to be going to the Grand Finals. Whoever wins this is going to come back up. And I believe IVC Esports was actually in the semifinals, so they lost now to UCI. One team, IVC, trying to fight it their way back into Grand Finals, and CSUF Blue trying to fight their way out of losers. So
it's do or die for these two teams here.
And I believe since it is also a final, it's going to be a best of 5. So with the game being ready and the players on the way, we're going to head on over into the first Oasis. I thought it was going to be I thought it was Lijiang Tower. I think that might have been for we have some set maps like Lijiang, Oasis, perhaps.
Also haven't seen this map in a competitive context, unfortunately.
Really?
I'm trying to figure out how it would play here. Very much a team fight map. Not so much a sneaky map. Sorry for all my Sombra fans out here. We might still see him anyway.
It's a pretty straightforward map. There are some flank angles you can take. We see a lot of soldier on here, especially for a consistent attack. And Cat's going on the Sombra, honestly, because Sombra, you gotta understand, Sombra is really powerful in this current patch. And Sombra has invisibility, so it doesn't really matter necessarily if there's any flank angles that you can take, like a very strategic one that's obvious. You could just, blast past enemy lines and waltz right through them as things are starting to get heated up.
Love to see the Sombra W. I was thinking, I don't know, Hanzo, I'd love to see some good clips from Hanzo's Aqua here, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to be as dominant on this map.
Instantly the team fight goes off. We have the bubble popped as well as the Ramatra utility being used to slow them down. That Nemesis form swap gets them a little bit of damage. Ravenous Vortex really powerful to slow down those choke points as the point opens up. May gets the freeze off. Immortality Shield keeping them alive and active. Night finally falls. Django again being extremely dominant on that Ramatra composition allows for a really strong push in onto point, and it's going to be capped right now, started off by CSUF Blue. They might have lost their DPS, but they have such a good, honestly, a stronghold on this site with May being alive.
I was noticing, even though Squid went down with Baptiste seems super important in these chokeholds. He's on both teams here. With that immortality field, you're able to cover the whole last choke point, and the enemy team has got to focus their attention on that.
Also, Django with the Ravenous Vortex being able to hold players down and do chip damage away along with that moving shield works out so well. Aqua Vesa able to find some more. That's going to be Lin down. They're finding a couple picks, and that's the Hanzo shooting Mahogany Tree Trunks at you from far away. Knight taking out another player as well as he switched from Winton all the way back to Ram. Ramatra. They go, and they're going to be continuing to bully that. May Cats falls, and Annihilation is up. That's going to be an ultimate in the hands and available for CSUF Blue. They actually have 3 of them currently active and on every single roll.
IVC's ultimate is slowly building up, but
it's because they had to switch. They had to switch. And the volley goes out. Same thing with the Blizzard. It gets popped, and instantly being able to capitalize it, Aquavesa finds a couple of picks. And again, if they stagger their ultimates here, Jazza being able to use that Blizzard intelligently, it'll give them so much space.
Yeah, IVC's definitely got to make some power plays here if they want to see any progress on this map.
And I think that the switch all the way over to a different composition, a slightly mirrored composition to what we see on CSUF Blue, minus that DPS, might work out in their favor, but the team fight goes out. Both of the Ramatras using their ultimates. That Nemesis form is powerful. The blocks and the punches, as well as just being able to siphon off damage. That's going to be everything in the kill feed. Pinstripes as multiple players go down and out. Knight very close to being taken out. Still managing to stay alive, just barely. Needing to respect that positioning from the Dragons coming out from Aquavesa.
IVC is on the board, but they are not. They're having a bit of a sloppy defense here. They are holding it well, and though they did get some solid picks, so they definitely got to set up their battle lines quick here.
And, I mean, Dragon Strike is extremely powerful for positioning, so the fact that they use that and kind of got rid of it. It's unfortunate because CSUF Blue's not going to have that. Aquavista is still continuing to go with that Hanzo. They're going to keep their same compositions. And again, this is why we see Ramatra and May on this map. That ice wall extremely useful for the choke points to slow them down. Baptiste just pelts them away. Immortality Shield pops as well as the insta heals. Battle of the Ramatras are there. It's pushing against each other back and forth, getting walled off. Django gets cut off from his lifeline, manages to get away. And with a little bit of HP, he needs to run inside, and the ticker is going. The time is going in IVC's favor. If they can win this team fight, it works out. Django still holds on, blocks the damage that's incoming in. There's the Blizzard as it gets popped. They need to respect that away, because if they don't, Katz is going to be able to take advantage of it. Speaking of Katz, he's on low HP. Runs away, gets the heal, and that's the power of May. You have that ability to hold things off. Immortality Field popped, but still, Django falls. It's actually Knight that's able to stay alive through that Immortality Field, and they keep it in IVC's control. Woo!
Solid defense from IVC with a team wipe there, basically. I mentioned battle lines before. With these team comps, it's quite literal. With Ramatra, May, and Baptiste being able to literally just set up barriers of defense that you
the next team fight already starts really to go out. The battle, Django able to find some more, and same thing with Knight since they both pop their their ultimate. Knight finds 2 more, and that's going to be Django. The tank is down. The retake is not going out as IVC Esports maintains a choke point. They hit 99. Objective gets secured without contest, and it's just one good team fight away as IVC just took that back, right? They retook it. It was almost at 100, too.
That was a really good clinch. They set up their defense, and it held. Blue just was trying to traditionally push, and it just didn't work.
And I think that in that situations, they popped their ultimates. They could have switched and maybe counterpicked, especially on this map, right? Something with maybe like a Genji Kiriko play could have worked out, especially because of mobility, but Genji not being as prominent or prevalent currently in this patch. I think Sombra, sticking to that Sombra, you have the backlines still available and active. Sure, the choke points are covered up, but you do have, especially on that part of Oasis, on that map, on that control point, you have different lanes that you can go into, so makes it extremely powerful. As we now move over, we see Aqua Vesa already back on that Sombra. Hopefully they stick with it this time.
Sombra, I'm finding Fullerton's team comp a bit interesting here. I feel like they're expecting their supports to put up more damage in the team fights because they're DPS characters, Sombra and Symmetra. They can't like go face to face. They're extremely,
honestly, extremely powerful in general. Although it's bleeding blue right now as the trades go out. Django being the only one to find something. They find Kid Maniac, but since you're playing Lucio, you have a really easy time to get back there. And the main thought process behind the Sombra combination with the Tracer is that Tracer does a decent amount of damage and good recall, especially if you can one mag those squishies. But generally speaking, you're not going to get that one mag. You're most likely going to get half a mag extra to finally take them down, especially if you can land your shots. So, in general, Sombra being able to use that hack to weaken them works out. Speaking of weakened, Riz, her up has fallen. I mean, you can't Riz up that if you are dead. Point being taken and attacked right now. Low HP. That's where the Sombra hacks start to come in. Sojourn getting bullied by the Winston. He's trying to get him. Winston absolutely bullies him into a corner, finished off by the DPS Jazz. He's going to be going and focusing. Ramatra Knight nowhere even close to the fight because of the, I believe, the debuffs there from Anna from Squid.
It looks like Devo just wasn't working out well for Django as he switches to Winston. Definitely seems to work better for them. With Winston, they're definitely making him scatter very, very effectively.
It's really good, especially against the push from Ramatra. You have the dive from Winston. It's a nice little rock, paper, scissors combo. As we see Aquavesa going with that SMG, the little bullet gun. Tries to find some more. Mid-hack, already dead. And also, I mean, the power of Sombra, right, being able to cover on the flanks and really strong in terms of mobility, it also means that the mega packs, the health packs, can't be found out and spotted out. So Aquavesa has a lot of sustainability in terms of her life. And look at this. All information gathered right now gives away the positioning entirely, and she can focus on squishies, giving Django so much space. Primal Rage getting popped. They know exactly where they are coming from, especially because of that Sombra. It helps them out so much, but still, Cats and Knights being able to capitalize off of the chaos, find some more. Django only being able to find Riz her up, and that's going to be your immortality gone, but also your point as well. Django goes back on it to maintain it, contest it, but they just focus on him.
IVC with the solid clinch to take the point back. as you were saying, it cannot be understated the advantage that Sombra, just being able to cloak and dagger around, gives to the team, just in terms of intel.
Ooh.
So Aquavis is able to tell the team where the opponents are exactly and their exact status at all times.
We see the Sojourn ultimate come and pop online. Overclock is there, but I don't think it's going to overheat. Lin finds one Knight with Annihilation as well, gets a second. It's going to be a clear wipe of the team, and that is a team kill as Point gets retaken outside of Point. They're not even fighting on Point. They're just fighting on the outside, little outskirts of it. Now, the retake's going to have to be strong here, especially because if Ramatra can push up on those choke points and use the utility that they have available to them, I mean, the Ravenous Vortex is powerful.
The team fight here is very important because if IVC doesn't take this, Fullerton is going to be 90+.
Yeah, and that's going to be a little bit scary. IVC Esports, they get 99%. You're going to need to play for that overtime and play for the retake, as CSUF Blue has. When Jazza down, that's going to be your DPS out of it, and that's the power. That's the worst part about having a squishy. Ravenous Vortex out as well. Same thing with the barrier. Bullies one more, and it feels like just honestly, I say bullying a lot, but it genuinely feels like they're just pinning them in a corner up against a wall and smacking them like a piñata almost, running around.
We got Zeus's favorite child here, Knight.
Yeah.
Ramatra is just absolutely oppressive today with this current meta.
Also, such a good team fight here. He's able to grab 3 just off his ultimate as well while focusing on maintaining the tank. So in that logic, right, the whole point about team fights like that is it's very difficult to maintain positioning on one player, and especially locking in on one specific, if you were to go for a squishy, for example. But because of Annihilation and how it functions, you're siphoning damage just consistently. So if you, sometimes you want to focus on the squishies, knowing that your teammates aren't going to be focusing on the tank. But other times the tank might be super oppressive, like you're going Ramatra against Ramatra. So you might want to focus the Ramatra, so then the Ramatra's starting to bleed a bit more. And that coordination with your team and split-second thinking, giving him a nice 3-piece on the end, hats off to you guys, especially if, IVC didn't win that point, but they were able to even it out near the end.
Good team coordination from both teams. I feel like they're both doing well. I feel like it's just the sort of battle of wits right now. Just what play styles, play styles and counters are what's going to affect this match. Like IVC just sets up their defense, and they just the Fullerton's traditional pushers are just not breaking through. They've got to change up something if they want to do these retakes effectively.
And I saw Sojourn coming in there. I think it was interesting to see. CSUF Blue is a dominant team, and they they know how to play the game, right? We've seen some veterans here. I know Jazza has been around for a hot minute in the scene, so it's not too surprising that they know how to realistically do and play their role. But at the same time, when you have something like Sojourn, especially with a nano boost Ana, I mean, you can very easily overpower a team. Obviously, they nerfed Sojourn like crazy, but I still think that the play with Sombra is Sombra's good. Maybe Tracer is what you might want to change, but considering that we're going to be going into hybrid in this next map and in this next match, it's going to be, I feel like it's just whichever team can really hold it through. It's since it is kind of a battle of wits. But again, once we get into the game, we're going to see their compositions. We're going to see what the teams are playing. And I also want to see IVC. So I know that their roles are pretty set up right now for Lin's on DPS, Knight's on tank, Cat's DPS, Riz is on support. Same thing with Kid Maniac. So they're pretty standard in there, as we're going to be seeing in this map.
My brain just clicked on that we have a player named Riz.
Riz her up, yeah.
Yeah, in terms of the dominant team, IVC just seems to have they just seem to have a better game plan for just face-to-face team fights. Honestly, I don't know. Fullerton, they seem to be changing up a little bit here, bringing back out the Tracer. Kiriko, oh wait, no, we have a bit of a UI glitch here.
Yeah, CSUF Blue is going to be where IVC Esports is. IVC Esports is where CSU Blue is. And we have amazing God tier production because they instantly fix it. And you know what? That is a solid W. But true. All things considered, they need to hold off this point, especially because it's a fairly mirrored composition.
We got a Sombra v Sombra situation here. So Fullerton is bringing out the Tracer here, but honestly, I feel like, especially on a hybrid map like this, I feel like we need someone who can get like.
Oh, okay. So it seems like there was some issues with the match being set up more than just what happened at the beginning. You know, sometimes teams, right? You might want to start on a specific side, especially because the losers get the advantage of either picking the map or picking the side. And so sometimes in both. Usually, I believe here we give them the map choice. So whether you choose Hollywood if you know you're good at that map, or if you choose, for example, a different map if you know that you're better at it. We saw Hollywood previously, and obviously here we see something different, but. You know, they're going to reset the lobby, get us back into it, and of course, you know, gives us a little bit more time to talk about it. We've seen some players like CSUF Blue, they had a pretty mirror composition. Now going into the next one, I believe they're gonna at least start off on the same picks right off the bat.
I feel like that's not going to work for Fullerton. I honestly feel like Fullerton needs characters that could just like delete people, like sniper heroes, something like that, if they want to get through IVC's like traditional defense. They don't seem to have a good time of just punching through. I think they need to like start like picking off support characters.
Yes, I agree, and we'll have to see as we get back into the game. The lobby's ready, the players are set up, and we see it. Yes.
A bit of a UI glitch still. It's not a big deal. What is?
Yeah, guys, it's still wrong. I can tell them on my walkie-talkie. Don't mention it. You know, IVC, they win this. They go 2-0 into the next one. It is a best of 5, so still extremely important for them to maintain their dominance. And obviously, you have a little bit more room to work with, some wiggle room to figure things out, but you know, it'd be like that. It is what it is.
Both teams are ready. IVC sets up their defense here. Winston v. Winston, Sombra v. Sombra. A lot of the anchors are mirrored here. But again, Fullerton has none, besides like Sombra and Tracer in a sense. Fullerton doesn't have those heroes that can just like delete the support characters, and I feel like
I think that they're just playing into the meta right now instead of playing into anti, and that's going to be a really difficult situation. Big Iron going for the Brigitte play as well gives them a lot of room to push and play with, especially with that ultimate rework. It can do a decent amount of damage, but you got Winston in your back line. That's going to be a pain. Django trying to push players away. Kiriko almost low and out of it. Finally, they find some more. The trades are there, and it's because Night falls, IVC Esports is going to have a hard time maintaining this point. They probably lose this relatively quickly, interestingly enough. Seems like CSUF Blue has the space, but Rizzerup and Lin being able to go huge here. The support taking out the tank. Point gets restored in IVC's favor as the next team fight commences. Cats already starting to set up for it in advance to give information to the team.
Cats a fan favorite of the Lasers team. Let's see what they can do on Sombra.
I think Sombra, honestly, extremely powerful here. Aquavista finally gets onto point, tries to get the Lucio. They do. Up on the walls, they're running away. Jazz being able to finish them off with the Snipes DPS. That's the power of having hit skin, but it seems as though CSUF on the point gets into it, pushes the issue. Hack Knight is going to be low, takes a bit more damage with there. Thankfully, the cleanse is out there. Jazz goes down, and Jazz is out, and that is going to be a push against CSUF Blue. They need to recollect themselves for the team fight, especially with Django's ultimate about to be online and active. Feels like they might use it here.
We saw such a strong push from Fullerton there. They almost had the point, but IVC was just able to clinch it. I insist, I guess, that Fullerton needs to change something up. If they
instantly, Django pops that ultimate just to give him some more space. Knight is already on the issue on the point, and even though Django has been doing a decent amount of damage, I don't know if his focus control has been working well. Has to get out of there, is not able to. Everyone focuses on him, and that's going to be, it's not a team wipe, but because they killed him staggered and individually, but everyone, I believe everyone except for Sombra got knocked out there.
We got a sort of delayed wipe here for my Splatoon homies.
Yeah, and then now, look at this. Knight has that Primal Rage active.
Yeah, Knight's got that Primal Rage. I saw Django use it as an emergency, which is never a good situation you want to be in.
Great snipe. They try to use it to push in onto that point, though, as well, right? You could use it as an emergency to get out of a tough spot, but also just, like, pushing away from point as much as possible. And Kid Maniac playing their role so well, giving them the speed to bounce around. Knight has that ultimate already a second time. Like, it's kind of crazy if you think about it. Like, they just recently used their ultimate against them. And IVC Esports now already has 3 ultimates online and ready. Aquavesa, especially with that EMP, could do a decent amount of damage because when you're EMP'd, the whole reason Sombra is extremely powerful is because you deal more damage. So when that happens, you deal more damage. Sound boost goes out, especially for Kid Maniac to give him extra HP in this team fight. Lin finding 2 more, Big Iron and Squid. That extra added HP on a squishy character like that really helps them as they could just pressure Django out of point.
We have an identical mirror match here. An issue I'm seeing with Fullerton's pushes is that they're going into fights with like half health with their smaller characters here, which you never want to be doing. They seem to be... Jazz pulls out the Reaper to try and change something up. Let's see how that goes.
I mean, Jazz being one of the star DPS players for CSUF Blue might actually do some damage.
10 on the clock.
Especially if they can get Death Blossoms up, it might work out. There's a Kitsune Rush as well. Django finds one on the back line and also pops that Primal Rage EMP to stop and give him more damage. Kid Maniac also... sorry, no, it's Big Iron that pops that sound barrier to give them some more health, but I don't think that's going to save them. Django extremely low and Squid already out of it. Jazz about to die at the brink of it. Django finally falls. They just need to finish it up. It's ironic that Riz gets Jazz because I don't think that Jazz really rizzes as overtime falls, and that's going to be a pretty set game right now for IVC. As long as they take the point, that's GG.
Yeah, let's see how IVC does on this offense. Again, Fullerton just has to... I don't know, maybe this is a defense-sided meta. Let's see how easy it is to defend this first point.
Now, I mean, just in general, if they played anti in that situation and tried their best to play against the composition they were dealt with, I feel like it would have gone the other way, but unfortunately they decided to change a bit later than they had. If we'd seen Jazza go for that Death's Blossom earlier and switch to Reaper, I think that the amount of damage he can soak up is a lot higher, so it would have done better. But realistically, it's just one of those things of you need to be aware of what's going on. I love seeing the Symmetra at the start to give them the way that players use them cheekily to get them even more of an advantage by placing down the teleport and then instantly switching to something else works out. Ooh, and Lin going for the Genji. They mainly follow the team flow. I asked because I saw Tracer and Genji. I was like, oh, do you flank a lot? And we've seen a couple of flanks come out from Lin, but a lot of really nice just general damage soak. So they're just trying to just spray them with the Tracer and get out of there as fast as possible and letting their their tank Knight take most of the hits. But now that they're on attack, I don't know, Tracer might not work.
Looks like they're locking in Genji here. You're definitely able to make a lot of plays with Genji with the climb off of walls, but let's see how Fullerton reacts.
I think we're going to keep it. Aquavesa and Jazz, they kind of have a strong combination between the two. Squid being a classic Ana player. I've seen Squid play on Ana a fair bit. And Big Iron still staying with Brigitte just right now, at least to see it. I do think that the Lucio pick, Lucio Kiriko, is enough healing and also just enough speed and support to really give them some room. Riz decides to do some damage, being just not a healer, but also just a support in general. And get the high ground. Lin's still able to find 2. Riz finally falls. Knight goes Rook. Rook goes down, and that is point basically being taken by IVC Esports. They take this. It's a GG. Yep. Yeah, they captured 1 point. So
very, very clean push from IVC. I think Fullerton just had trouble adapting, unfortunately for them. IVC just they had a play that worked well, and they just stuck to it. Lin getting the play of the game there with that last round Genji.
Did you say 5-minute heads up? Well, that is currently now, I believe, 2-0 And IVC has no sign of stopping here.
Going up against UCI's well-regarded team here in the Grand Finals.
I believe so. And honestly, in general, it's not surprising. IVC is kind of ready. They're kind of been training this for a bit. CSUF, on the other hand, I believe they either they have some subs or something along those lines. They're not really. I don't know if they're here at full force or not. But unfortunately and generally, IVC, they put up. CSUF put up a great fight. They tried their best to play and pressure against them, but IVC just, hot off just losing to UCI. They just lost to them. They want to go for their revenge. They want to come back. And, you could also throw in some home field advantage, especially being here at the Laser Esports Arena.
Of course. Fullerton has one more chance to get on the board here, though. And if they do have subs, that would explain why they might be...
I thought so. Well, with that, I believe that the teams are going to be getting ready right now. It is a best-of-5 series, so IVC Esports is not out of it just yet. They win this next one, and they're good to go. Now, with how dominant they've been, I wouldn't be surprised if they take it, but hey, anything can happen. CSUF is going to take, I believe, a little bit of a break right now to rethink some of their strategies and maybe give them some room to breathe and figure things out. So we'll be back with you guys shortly after they take a technical pause, a little bit of a times. Oh, no, I just got word that the game is ready.
More gaming sounds good to me.
All right. Well, we go to Dorado.
Very pretty map.
Yep. Is it actually Dorado, or am I losing my mind?
Got Don
Esperanza?
Rumbito.
Havana? Oh. Havana. I was like, wait, no, this isn't Dorado. Dorado is a completely different map.
We're in Brazil here. Brazil didn't have a map before this?
I think
crazy.
This is... I thought it was Havana at first. I was like, what? Well, I asked production what this was. I'm not going to lie. I've forgotten. I haven't seen this map played in a hot minute. I always see a lot of Lijiang Tower, especially in Pugs.
Fullerton is changing it up here. You did explain that they might have some subs, and that would explain... I feel like that might explain why they went for the traditional team plays more, despite it not working out the best for them. Everyone knows how to play that traditional comp. But they are changing it up. A similar comp to what UCI pulled earlier, if I remember correctly.
We see almost Moira... Almost some Moira play, but no Moira. Instead, it's going to be something different entirely. There we go. They're just spawn camping. They're trying to trap them in the spawn. Knight playing the Ryan really perfectly, just absolutely keeping them in there, making sure that shield is unbreakable and sending damage into it, pelting it in. You can't go. You might not be able to go in there, but you could definitely hurt their backline.
Yeah, IVC definitely changed it up a bit for this map too. I'd love to see some big picks from Lin here on Cassidy.
Oh my god, and Knight just being a nuisance finally takes down Django in their spawn. They're just spawn camping here. They're literally spawn camping here. They're not allowing them to push out. And with the recent buffs, kinda, nerfs buffs to Ryan, buffs to his health, nerfs to his overall health. I think he went from 600 to slightly... He went from 650 to 600, but he gets more white health instead of shield. It's going to give him a little bit more sustainability and better healing. Oh my god, he already has that ultimate. Shatters the world, shatters everything, gives him so much positioning, an absolute team wipe here. And I would think, you know what? I say Django switching to Ramatra here might give them enough room to pressure and push out against them.
Hopefully, but that's still a minute plus of spawn camping that they got zero progress on that entire time.
And that's kind of the whole point. You want to make sure that they don't get any progress as much as possible and to charge up those ultimates as much as they can. Mei comes out with the wall, hopefully to isolate the two of them. Django still falls, raise her up, being the one to do the damage. That's why you're called to support. You can do some damage and some more. That Zen Discord Orb is on you, Knight. You got to be mindful of it. Is mindful. The situation pushes away. Even though he's away from his DPS and out of line of sight from Zen, still decides to press it. The team pushing up with them instead. That's why it's called a push comp. You're going to be pushing the issue. Django tries to go for the DPS in the back, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Getting pinned and stunned. Django still manages to fine-tune Big Iron near the back. Finally, some room to breathe as the payload pushes forward for CSUF.
With Reinhardt here, IVC has a tool to get rid of, to just shut down plays like that. Fullerton did have one of those with Roadhog, but they've seen to switch off of that now.
And with the payload moving forward and Big Iron being obviously Big Iron on his hip with that Zen, so it works out. Speaking of Big Irons, we see the Dead Eye. It's high noon, and Jazz is able to take advantage of it. You know, high noon, it's the perfect time to sing some jazz, and he's able to do it. He's also, I will say, it's really interesting that that name is really funny regardless. Squid finds cats. That's going to be no more meowing here. You're not going to be left alive. And the team fight. I was going to say, Django also switched back to the sim. Why did my brain say sim?
The cat fans are not going to be happy with
Sigma.
Squid. Cat fans are definitely choosing Octoling after that play. But IVC is still holding their line here.
And Lin finding 2 as well as breaking the immortality, giving them a decent amount of space back. And if I'm IVC here, right, you got 40 seconds left. Just keep that point as far away from checkpoint, because they hit that checkpoint, they get 2 minutes. They don't, or a minute 30. They don't hit that checkpoint, they're kind of screwed. Vortex is there. Same thing with the barrier. Both of his cooldowns used up. Only the arms left alive. Speaking of cooldowns, there is an ulti in the hands of Knight. He can use it. Does chooses to do so. Has to break the immortality field. Doesn't do it. Still only being able to capitalize a little bit off of it. It's going to be a even trade for the most part, as a DPS has fallen for both sides, as well as a support. Lin has to get back into this team fight if they want to stay alive, especially because they have that ultimate Vortex to slow them down.
Django on the point here. It was still a really good play for Reinhardt to stun him as much as possible, because that means they're on the point.
And speaking of being on the point, Ryan is there to contest it. This is the final team fight before things go out. Overtime is there. Pops Annihilation. He only has a couple of seconds here. Doesn't go through the shield. The shield's almost broken. Deadeye popped as well. He's looking for a pick. Doesn't find anything. Maybe he hits up, tags it up just a touch. This is the fight for point. If they can win this out, it works. And with Knight and Lin finding picks of their own, along with Riz her up, using that immortality to keep them alive in that crucial final couple seconds, it seems like IVC Esports is going to stop them before they even get a single point.
Really good clinch from IVC. They do basically have to get to the checkpoint though to win this. It's not easy peasy lemon squeezy. Maybe just a lemon flavor. Maybe just a LaCroix lemon here.
Like the whiff?
Yeah, just a little hint of lemon in terms of how easy it is going to be for IVC.
So in CSUF's situation right now, what's the play? You've been talking a lot about maybe adaptability, and being able to change up their play style.
It looks like this map is having a big effect on their playstyle. We saw basically a completely different comp from Fullerton when this map opened, and we're seeing it again. They look to be almost mirroring IVC, except for cats on the Widow, which I'm sure their fans will be very happy to see some big clips from.
Well, I mean, Widow and Farah are interesting. We see the pharmacy composition come out as well. Farah and Mercy are extremely powerful to pick them up from afar. Right, you know, just peppering them with a little bit of damage so that Knight and Cats can pick them off. I feel like if Knight is really taking advantage of that and picking these players off, especially as a tank, you have a lot of stuff and a lot of damage for it, might work out. And I think IVC Esports, the reason they kind of have this is because they're playing they're playing in direct contrast to what CSUF is going to try to do. They're going to try to spawn cap them, so having Pharmacy being all spread up and hard to hit in the sky might really work out for them. Nemesis form for Django. He's going for the punches because he knows he can break through those shields and the walls. It's a counter for both players as the blocks come out. Knight is the one to drop it first. There's the barrier because of it. Vortex to pepper some more damage onto Ramatra. They starve Knight from healing, still able to find it because of the long range capabilities from these players. Aquawest near the back line. He's going to be using that hit scan to the best advantage that they can, because you know that you can pop them from the sky. Farah, they're just still trying to pepper them, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, Aquavis is the closest thing they have to a counter to the classic Farah Mercy combo. But it's not easy to hit those Cassidy shots on someone like Mercy, especially at this high a level.
It never is, and it seems as though IVC is still having a hard time with the spawn camp. They just need to go a little bit further. The Annihilation targeting works out so well right now for CSUF. Blue Django being able to find 3 near the back line. It seems like the spawn camping is coming back to bite IVC, because they also are getting spawn camped right now, but that's a meta of this map, honestly, more than anything. Lin tries to find a couple of picks near the sky, but seems to not be working. Mercy almost getting caught off guard, but again, they just need to be weaving and dodging. Finally, Kid Maniac gets spotted by Squid of all the players. It's going to be your support.
Bad timing, too, as Lin just got the rocket barrage.
Oh, and I mean, hey, the barrage might be coming out soon. We'll see it, and there is no diva on the field for them to gobble up those tasty rockets. Cat's using that as a boost, but still gets caught off in the open. Squid takes advantage of it. Payload finally getting pushed. Oh, wow. It's getting pushed, but not by a lot.
At least they are somewhat on the board.
Ooh, the solo ultimate coming out from Big Iron to get away with their life. Honestly, you might want to save it for the next team fight.
Yeah.
It's such a powerful ultimate.
IVC switches off of Fire Mercy.
I mean, that's a good thing.
But again, Hanzo instead of the Widowmaker, it's still really useful to have a hero that's just be able to delete people.
Yes, it is. No, you're good.
Looks like Fullerton is is looking to prepare for a big push here. I'm not sure. Oh, Fullerton got their tank in a choke here. It's not good looking.
And because of that, it's going to stall them out, but they still have 55 seconds to push it forward. They need to do so if they want to win. No one being able to get any points. They need to break that immortality field. They're managing to do so. The team fight goes out. Annihilation online, but not active. Knight's still able to keep it just for a bit. And that's going to give them so much space as they push. They're pushing further, way past anything they've seen, and that's going to hopefully give them the win. Jazz falls. May is out. No more freezing capabilities here as the point inches ever so closer. I don't even know if they're going to have another team fight, especially if they can't push on to point. Finally, Jane goes there, gets walled out, and it's Kiriko. Riz her up in the backline, takes advantage of the situation. Knight as well with a Dragon Strike combination, 2 ultimates in 1. The Q battle works out in favor of IVC Esports as they're going to be taking on this point. Jazza being the only one alive, switching over to Soldier so they can get there, but that is just GG's as IVC Esports wins the set 3-0.
That is your losers finals winners, IVC. Again, I feel like Fullerton just went for a traditional approach, and then IVC was like, okay, we're gonna kill your guys, and you can't do it now. And they just got very solid picks, and Fullerton just couldn't do their strat.
And this was such a great play from Knight, especially almost missing that immortality field, but I feel like if Ramatra got that immortality field, it was GG's. IVC would not have been able to sustain that long, and I think because they missed, and also because of the capabilities of the team they were able to hold off, it worked out in their favor. It worked out in IVC's favor. And popping it at that point when there was only, I think, Ramatra and a support left online is also extremely useful because you only have 2 players left to worry about.
And their Hanzo and Kiriko players were just able to get those really sneaky angles and just get those picks. And then even if you get like one guy, that's 25% of the team. That's not how math works, but that's still a significant amount of the team, and that puts Fullerton as a huge
you're close, 20%,
advantage.
right? 5 players left, so. I mean, if 20% is what's important, right, you're missing 40%, you're missing 2 players, and that's a support and DPS gone. You're going up against an 100% fully there and ready team. You're going to have a hard time, and IVC kind of knows this. They want to win this to prove that they can win on home ground and home turf. And UCI also, I mean, it's the Battle of Irvine after this, right? So it's going to be UCI and IVC. But before we get into that, we obviously want to know a little bit more about some of these players. So we'll see you guys in just a little bit with player interviews to, ask some questions of the players.
Welcome back, everybody. You are now stuck with me again. My name is Danny Tabata, and I'm here with the winner against Fullerton and Irvine Valley College, Brett Knight Castro. Welcome, and thank you for being with us today, Brett.
Thank you, yeah.
But can I call you Knight?
Yeah, that's
Perfect.
totally fine.
So, my first question is, would you rather prefer a cheese burger or a ham burger?
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger,
Yeah.
and why?
It just tastes better.
Cheeseburger tastes better?
It's just better.
Now,
yeah.
let me throw a little harder one at you. When you're choosing a bun, do you personally prefer a toasted brioche bun?
Yeah.
Or a casual, sesame, McDonald's looking
Brioche bun.
brioche bun, right?
the best, makes the
And sorry, to go even more deeper, that crispiness of a brioche bun, it's just the perfect amount of brown, especially when you toast it. You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now, one more thing. Do you like to add toppings when you eat a cheeseburger, or do you just prefer a plain
No.
cheeseburger with, condiments? Or not even condiments.
Plain with a few condiments.
With
That's
condiment,
it,
but
that's
not?
it.
What's your preferred food condiment?
I don't know. Like,
Do you like ketchup? Are you a fan
yeah,
of ketchup?
great.
Would you
choice.
add tomatoes as well, or
I-
not a tomato guy? Not really.
Maybe. I mean.
Maybe? What
nah,
about Beyond
it's
Tomato? Would you
okay.
try a Beyond Tomato?
Isn't a Beyond Tomato just a regular?
I don't know, but
tomato?
let's go into the actual
all right.
questions that I have for you. So, this was a very hard-fought battle, and you guys did your best, and you guys succeeded.
Yeah.
My question to you is, how do you celebrate this within your group? How are your players taking in each and every win and loss so far as of this round?
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
as of
mean-
this whole tournament.
Yeah, I mean, the job's not done, right? We still have one more match against UCI again. They beat us before, but I mean, these matches were good. Just get us warmed up, get us in the game. But now, this is where it really matters. So we're just focused on that.
That's true. And you guys have the home field advantage. Pretty much
Yeah.
we're here at our very own IVC Esports Arena. And how does it feel to be part of the LAN tournament?
It's great. It's great.
Where you
to have
guys
this
play
kind of-
with the
yeah.
computers here, and you guys are familiar not only with the setting, but the people that are also in it and nearby us. Do you think that plays a major role on you guys, defeating Cal State University Fullerton?
Yeah, I think we're definitely pretty hyped to be here. We're all glad that we can host this event and have it and play in it. It's a fun time. So yeah, we're just having a good time here. We're just hanging out.
I see. And, I've seen you play Ramatra. You're really good. Highly skilled, at a level that not many people play at. How did you feel the pressure was on, or how deep was the pressure when you're facing off against UCI and, it didn't go your way, and
Yeah.
you have to rebound from that game to this Fullerton game, how does the mindset change? What goes through your thought process as you're getting ready for the Fullerton match?
Yeah, so I mean, UCI did not play the Rush Mirror. They wanted to run their weird Queen comp and the Hog and all this stuff. So it's like, we're trying to force it to work, and Ram just isn't as good into the Queen. So, when we moved to the Fullerton game, both teams wanted to play more of the rush style, more of the dive style. So we were able to make that work, and we just, were able to outplay them on that. It was pretty simple, but against, UCI is playing some tricky comps. So we're going to have to keep, theory crafting about how we're going to beat that.
I agree. UCI is running a very tricky comp, but very sophisticated, and I'm proud for them, of that. One of my questions to you is, now that you guys have beat Fullerton not once but twice, what's next for you guys? Are you guys ready for, the end of the season banquet? Are you guys ready? Is this just the beginning? Is this the beginning of something even greater that we could ever imagine?
Yeah, I mean, we're really trying to just focus up on this next match right now. It's like, it was pretty hard fought going in to the Fullerton battles, and against UCI the first time. I think we're trying to just adapt, see what we can do to change it up and go for a better, round two.
I see. Well, you guys did a great job. You guys won this matchup against Fullerton. And again, thank you so much for your time, Knight. We thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I'm going to hand it over back to the casters while we get ready for our next matchup. Hopefully you guys have stuck around with us, and we appreciate your guys' continuous support. We'll be right back after these messages.